Hey, I'm Rusty, Team MDT Pro Shooter, and today I'm going to go over some common mistakes that competitors make during NRL hunter competitions.
We are MDT. We design, test, and create precision rifle chassis and accessories to help you shoot better.
So first of all, I want to talk about time management. In these hunter competitions, you have 4 minutes as an individual shooter. Those 4 minutes go by pretty fast. We have to find, range, and engage the targets. Sometimes the targets can be difficult to find. What I see a lot of competitors do is they'll spend the entire 3.5 minutes and then they won't find the last target. Then they'll get down and then they don't have time to shoot any. I like to be on glass within 30 seconds. It's a matter of moving efficiently, moving over into the glassing position, getting on glass, and being able to deploy your equipment efficiently enough that you can be on glass within 30 seconds. Sometimes we have to run further and it's going to take a little bit longer. Sometimes it can take less. But I commonly see newer competitors taking a full minute before they get on glass. I like to give myself 2.5 minutes to find the targets. And if I haven't found all the targets by then, I need to stop looking and start shooting. So at 2.5 minutes out, whatever I haven't found, I'll skip and I'll just shoot the targets that I've found. And if I have time at the end and it's the last target that I haven't found, I'll go ahead and look through the scope for it. Or if I have enough time, I'll jump back up. Set yourself a time, and really for the beginning competitors, probably give yourself a full 2 minutes to shoot the targets. Give yourself 2 minutes to find the targets. It's amazing how fast the 4 minutes goes.
We got 5 seconds.
If you don't have a timer, you really have no idea how much time you have left. Some ROs will tell you the time remaining if you ask them, but some won't. So you really need to have a timer. And the MDT Crush It timer is a really good timer to have. I get a lot of questions on glassing technique. How do I glass for the targets? Well, the first thing that I do is I'm looking with my eyes for the placard. A lot of times they're easy to see with your naked eye. Sometimes they aren't. But the first thing I'm always looking for is the placard, because I know that everything is either left to right of that placard or near to far from that placard. So you want to know where that placard is. You want to confirm where your first target is, and then you know which way to glass from there. A lot of people glass too fast. Take it kind of slow and make sure that you're not skipping over anything. One of the things that you're allowed to do in NRL hunter competitions is to ask the RO yes or no questions.
Placard you?
Yes, sir.
When you find a target, you can describe that target and ask them, is that the first target? Is that the second target? By doing that, you know if you're going left to right and you see a target just to the right of the placard, which is supposed to be the first target, is supposed to be within 10 feet of the placard. If you say, I see a target just to the right of the placard, is that the first target? If they say yes, you know that everything else is to the right of that. But if they say no, then you know that there's another target within 10 feet of that placard that maybe you can't see as well. So you know you need to look back at that. By the same token, if you find what you think is the last target on the right, and you say, is this target by this little bush target number 4, and they say no, then you know that the last target is further to the right. All rangefinders that I've ever used, the very middle is not where that laser is hitting. You need to find out what's called your sweet spot in your laser and see where that is so that you can know that you're ranging exactly what you think you're ranging. Otherwise, you think you're ranging the steel, but you're ranging 20 yards behind it because that's what the laser is actually reflecting off of. Every position where you're supposed to shoot from is marked, and normally you have to be within arm's length of that position to shoot it. So if there is a flag or a mark right here, you're supposed to be within arm's length of that. And so what I see a lot of competitors do is see that mark, and they think they have to get on that rock and shoot from what is not the most stable position right here. But what you should do is deploy your bipod and go prone right here, because I'm within an arm's length of that mark. So it's going to be a much more stable position. You're going to be able to make a better shot and see your hit better so that you can make a correction if you need to. You have to set up your tripod if you're going to glass off a tripod, which I recommend. And you set your tripod up at the glassing stake, and then you run over to the first position before you've looked at the positions, and you end up needing a tripod to shoot from that position. So I like to look at the positions as I'm running up to the stake and kind of determine from that what I'm going to use. If there's a potential that I need to shoot off of a tripod or use a tripod as a rear support, I'm going to take that tripod with me to the shooting position so that I don't have to then determine that I do need a tripod and run back and waste valuable seconds. One thing that I like to do when I'm determining shot placement on a target, a lot of the targets are animal shapes and you've got a lot of width on those targets. I like to be thinking as I'm coming up which way the direction of the wind is blowing, and then when I get down on the target, if I've got a target that is say a mil wide and I've got a little bit of left to right wind, I'm going to favor over toward the left of that, inside the left edge of that target, because I know that I've got all of the rest of that target for the wind to blow that bullet over, and that's a safe way to choose your point of aim selection. Another common mistake I see competitors make in the NRL hunter competition is they will see where they missed off the side, but they won't make a full correction. They'll just make a 0.1 mil or a half MOA correction and won't correct all the way to the center of the target. You really should measure the miss and correct that amount on the opposite side before you take your second shot. One thing that you really should know before you go to an NRL hunter competition is what your gun wind number is. If you have a 7-mile-per-hour gun and the wind is blowing at 7 miles an hour, you need to hold 0.1 for every 100 yards. So that would be a 0.6 correction in a 7-mile-per-hour wind at 600 yards. It's just a quick way to get kind of a rough estimate of what kind of correction you're going to need for the wind.